Hi, friend. Welcome to The Creative Minute, a podcast for the multi-passionate millennial who is obsessed with personal growth, creativity, and entrepreneurship. My name is Shana, and I'm a super nerd about all things content and marketing. In this space, we are unscripted and loving it, sharing stories, tips, and actionable steps that will help you get from where you are now to where you want to be. We're talking how to chase after the best and most authentic version of yourself in your life, business, relationships, and more. So pull up a seat and let's have a brunch-style chat about business, creativity, mindset, and all of the weird stuff in between that makes up life. Let's get into it. Hello, friend. Welcome to this conversation of The Creative Minute. I have the beautiful and fabulous Anna Nichols here with me. She is an amazing human, first of all. You just heard her intro, and she's got the most rad credentials, and she just came back from the International Human Design Conference. I don't know if I said that right, but oh my gosh, I can't wait to dive into this conversation. You wouldn't even believe how much I have learned personally from her. And so let's just dive right in. Anna, how are you today, first of all?
I'm amazing. I'm so happy to be here with you. It's still sunny in Colorado, so that always makes for a good day. And I love being in your energy.
Oh my God, you're so nice. I love being in your energy. It's truly like some of the most illuminating that there is. So for anyone listening, Anna and I have worked together. We met at a local networking event through the Illume Collective. If you are an Illume member, holler, what's up?
Hey, friends.
Hey, it's this networking group in Colorado that is really specifically intentional for female entrepreneurs who are soulful in their business and a little bit more on the spiritual side probably. But Anna and I met and we just like connected right away, and she was talking about how she was really feeling called to talk about human design in business. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And at the time I was still kind of like deep in the postpartum trenches a little. And I was like, cool, like noted. I really like you. And then we reconnected a couple months later and we worked together. And oh my gosh, I got to know Anna's business on such a deep level, being able to support her in her content creation. And holy cow, guys, do we have some juicy nuggets for you today. So first, can you please tell people like what's human design? Talk to us like we don't know what it is, and speak to it why it's useful for business owners, please.
So human design is a self-discovery system, much like Enneagram or the Strengths Test, Myers-Briggs. There's so many of these really cool systems that will help you know more about yourself. But human design, instead of answering all these questions about yourself, you actually type in the date, time, and location of your birth, because the information that comes out of it is based in astrology, the Kabbalah, the I Ching, and chakra system, as well as quantum physics. Like it's this really crazy, like to a DNA level, that they are helping us figure out who we have been designed to be, what are our skills, strengths, and where that spirituality comes in is what is our life purpose and how were we meant to fulfill that in general in our lives. And what I specifically love to do is help people fulfill that within the businesses that they're building.
Oh, so good, first of all. Yes. And it's so wild because of how accurate it is. Every single thing I've learned about myself has been spot on. And it's so insane and cool and illuminating in like realizing, oh, I have always worked that way. What Anna really specializes in, like she helps people see either if there's holes in your business that you can fill by making a tiny little tweak. Like she is so knowledgeable because she's got an MBA, right?
Yep, a master's in business.
Beautiful. So like she's this amazing business brain mixed with this miraculous spirituality knowledge and human design knowledge. And when you mesh the two together, it's like so clutch. And so tell us why it's important to feel aligned in our business. Like that's your big thing, is you want people to feel more aligned in their business so they're more fulfilled. Talk to me about that.
It's not just so they're more fulfilled. It's literally so life and business can be easier and more fun. Mm-hmm. Because when you are, like, we've all had jobs that we don't like, or we have had parts of our businesses that maybe don't feel like, it's something that we want to do. And sometimes that's because we don't have that skill set and we need it. And other times it's because literally it's not made for us. We were not designed to operate that way. And what we're doing, because we have grown up in a world where everyone has to do the same thing. We're all going through the same kind of school system, or our parents made us think we needed to be a certain way. Our employers, in order to keep our jobs, made us feel like we had to be a certain way. And what's happened is that everyone sort of confused on who they are, and we aren't pursuing truly, first of all, being ourselves, because we sometimes don't even know who that is.
Yup.
And then other times we have this feeling, we know we've got resistance, or we feel frustrated or like disappointed or angry or bitter about like something we're doing in our lives, but no one's given us the permission that we can do something different. And what's so crazy is once you're on the other side, y'all, we know that being our unique self in life, business, all the places, not only makes us more prosperous and happy, but then all of the people that we interact with, that we hire, that hire us, that we collaborate with, we all get to just do what we are great at and all succeed at the same time. It's such a beautiful place to be.
Oh my God, I love the way that you explain it. And it makes me want to be like in that vibe. I want to be that high vibe. I want to lean into my human design. Tell us, how do you actually lean into your human design to create a more aligned business?
So there's a lot of different components of your human design chart, and some of them, something that people hear all the time, or usually it's the first thing that they remember about themselves, is their energy type, which is Manifestor, like Shana, a generator like me, manifesting generator. There's a combined version, there's a projector, and reflectors. And I want to just give a quick fun fact, because I am a business expert also here, but this is a human design statistic, that there's only 9% of the population that's manifestors. About 32% that are generators. About 35% that are manifesting generators. 20-ish% are projectors, and only 1% of the population is reflectors. And so these might not totally add up to 100%, because as people are being born, right, there's a different mix, but like that's about the distribution. And think about, at most, only a third of the population could have this similarity to me. And there's probably like 100 other components of your human design that make you more and more unique. Oh. And so we look at many parts of the human design chart. Specifically, this type piece is so important because it explains how you interact with people, what your aura is like, and how you engage with other people, and who's going to be attracted to you for what reasons. That's a huge part of business, but also for you to understand how you're presenting and how people are receiving you, because the right people are going to attach on to that energy and be like, yes, I want to be a part of it. And the ones that don't, that's literally fine, except we've been taught that we have to make everyone happy and do all the things. And there's other pieces, things like your personality type, your profile lines. That's something I love to talk about. It's a fraction within your human design chart. I love to share with people what their incarnation cross is. This is their life purpose. And how do we build our messaging around this? How do we build our business around this? And what are the gifts that we have as our unique human design to build this business and fulfill this vision, which every single person I have ever done a human design reading for, help them figure this out, they're like, this is the thing I actually really want to do. And some people are actually on that path, but needed that confirmation. I've worked with people that I literally was like, you are 100% going in the wrong direction. And they're like, oh, thank God. Like, they got put down this path that, right, maybe their family or friends kind of put them on, that this was the way they needed to grow their business, and they were hating it, or it felt out of alignment, and so they weren't successful in growing that business. Or even whether you are on the wrong path or on the right path, and sometimes we just don't know. We have this calling within us that says, I'm meant for something, but I don't know what that is. And human design helps you figure it out, y'all. So I love to share that. And then we get to bring in proven business strategies to actually build businesses that are profitable and aligned to your design.
Yes. So, quick fact about Anna, she is so good at breaking things down into like a really firm, successful plan, first of all. So she takes all this information from people's human design. Like, she talked about the energy type, your profile lines. That's like, my profile line is a 2-4. And there's also like 5-1 and 6-3 or something. Is that right?
You did actually get them. There's 12 variations, but there are combinations of the numbers 1 through 6.
Yes, perfect. When you get your human design chart, I think Anna actually has a resource where you can get your free chart on her website. I'll include that in the show notes for sure. But you get like a quick breakdown on that chart. And then if you want to learn more, you have to do a little bit of a deeper dive, whether it's with someone like Anna or the resources she provides. And again, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I'm so excited for you to hear what she has to share. She has some exciting things that I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about yet. But like you want to be in this girl's sphere of influence, friend, because she's about to blow up. I'm excited. So, but going back to it really quick, you take your information that you learn about yourself, like Anna said, and Anna has such a great systematic way of approaching your business. Like, okay, so you're a manifestor, you really need to like put these people around you to support you in your business because you're not meant to do it all, kind of thing. So I would love if you could give like your most specific tip for each energy type. Just share one.
I love that. Manifestors, you need to talk more about what you actually want to happen in the boldest, most bright way that you can.
What do you mean? Tell me.
So many manifestors, this is very common, that they have like shared their bold ideas and people were like, that's crazy. That like, that's too big. And when we're in school, when we're in jobs, right? Like we then build up this like, well, my ideas either like can't come into reality, or I don't know if anybody wants that, or am I like too much? And what's really cool for manifestors, because this is why I was so attracted to you in your big, bold energy, right? The words that you're saying are part of that, but that then translates into an energetic vibe as a manifestor, because that is you living in alignment, telling people what you envision, whether that is in business or in life. But sharing that, the right people are going to be like, yes, I want to work with you. Versus, yeah, there might be people like, oh, that's a little bit too much for me.
But those aren't my ideal client, right? Like, I love that about you, where you're like, well, these people are going to be attracted into your energy if you're putting out things that are in alignment. And you mentioned earlier, like, we've all been taught that we need to attract everyone and we need to be for everyone. But that's a big thing that I talk about in any of my content. Like, if you're trying to be for everyone, you're not going to actually attract anyone, because you want your content to repel the people that wouldn't be a good fit for you. Because you don't want a miserable client experience, a relationship with your client where they're just not someone who is up your alley that you want to work with. And I've experienced that personally. Have you experienced that personally? Like attracting
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
oh, it's the worst. So, and I'm sure anyone who's listening to this has also done that. But so, okay, so for manifestors, sorry, I went off on a tangent. Love that tip of talking more. I'll taking notes.
Share specifically, right? Share your big, bold vision. Whatever it is that you want to see happening in the world, even literally talking about it to your husband or out into the world. Yes, it can be to clients, and that's what we want to bring into our world, but you don't know what the ricochet effect is of those words that like then a referral is going to come into you. And that's sort of the magic. And something that you said, which is perfect transition for us to talk about generators. And this is for all types. But when you said, right, like we think about who that ideal client is and what other people want from us. And really what we're talking about here with human design is us being us.
Yes.
And allowing people to be attracted to us, because I believe that I attract empowered people into my world. I choose that desire. And it's okay, right? I've done the work to build up that I don't need to be for everybody. And that is a large part of the hurdle, because manifestors, right? You're out there initiating. So you're the only ones who can go out in this way very specifically and ask for what you want. In this transition for generators, yeah, seriously, like that's some magic there. But it's not that like you're using your words to attract them. And that is the most common communication style that we're used to. As a generator, the way that people are coming into my world, it's literally an energetic frequency that I give off. And now I know how to do this really well, because it is my just natural state, and I realized that that's what it is. But I walk into a room, especially an aligned room, and I actually know how to turn on my energy so that I am vibrating. This is what I imagine. I'm like, I'm here to make friends with everyone. I like imagine my body giving a hug to everyone, because personally, I love making friends with people, but also then that brings people in to me. And this is a really practical tip for a generator. this feeling, however you would describe it. I would guess you probably know it. And so where do you need to put yourself as a generator? A virtual room, an in-person room, whatever that looks like on social media, in a place where that warmth, that energy that you know you can turn on in there, you just don't know that it's a valuable thing. You're like, every time I'm happy, I feel this feeling.
Oh my
And
God.
that is what you need to do in business. And when I go into rooms that are aligned with my business goals and with my own personal vision of what I like, who I want to hang out with, and whether that's for friendships, collaborations, whatever that looks like, I know that I become a happy person. And I, as a generator, so this is this part 2 of this pro tip, I talk about what I love. And it's not that I'm telling people to join my programs, my offers. I just like, as a generator, we're meant to share our passion. That's where there's a little bit of like strategy and a little bit of spirituality to this, because I know that people walk up to me and they're like, I don't know what it is, but I think I'm meant to work with you. Or something that you said really stuck with me. And how do I work with you? Like, that energy is what the generator is meant to be in. And we're not meant to like be as directly saying, this is what I want, right? We're here to respond to somebody else's like question or inquiry. And that's really hard for so many of us to do. It does take practice. But what's so cool is once you start to do this and see what's happening in your world with that, then some magic happens, because generators are, and manifesting generators, but we are the life force of the world. Yeah. We're the ones that are here to, that's when I say like I turn on this warm, happy energy, because I'm literally sending happy vibes to everyone in this room. And that's part of my gift.
Yay!
And even if I just get to hang out with a bunch of happy people, I've done my duty, let alone if any of them are interested in talking about human design. So that's a really great practical tip for generators, is get in places that make you happy, share what makes you happy, and watch how differently things will start to just come to you naturally because of that.
Oh my gosh, what a really simple but powerful shift. That's awesome. I love it.
So manifesting generators, they are a combination of the manifestor and the generator. So they do have some of this ability to initiate, but they first have to be responding in that, like creating that warm energy, that like thing I just talked about with generators, where they come in, they're like, this is what I want to happen. This is where I want to be. And then they actually have like go and tell people little pieces like, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. But they have to feel energetic vibe in order to successfully then initiate things that people are going to want. And what is so cool for manifesting generators, they like a manifestor moves really fast. A generator moves, I don't want to say really slow, but I'll say like really detailed. We get all of the steps. And a manifesting generator is moving fast and gets some of the details, but skips some of the steps. And there's reasons that all of us are meant to work together, and I'll share that little story after I've described everyone. But the manifesting generator, they're meant to do multiple things at once and have sort of this like being able to bounce from one thing to another. So that passion that I talked about with generators, the manifesting generators might have multiple of them. And if you are not pursuing multiple passions at the same time, hear me, Manny Gens, you will be bored.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if you are bored, you are not magnetic. And so your job is to allow yourself to pursue many things at once, because probably a bunch of people before told you needed to slow down, or you needed to focus on one thing. And I have worked with manifesting generators that I've helped pursue multiple revenue streams after unraveling some of that old programming. And now she's got multiple passive revenue streams, multiple like business lines and niches coming out, and she's rocking it, right? She's built a team to support her within that, as any of us should for different reasons. But she was like so bored selling the same one thing over and over. And now she's selling like 5 things and is literally the happiest person and wildly successful because of it.
Oh my God, so amazing.
Okay, so projectors, our projector friends, these are the guides, the seers. They are the ones who, it's so interesting, their design says they're meant to wait to receive invitations from us. And so many of the projectors that I have met and have worked with often are stuck in this either waiting and nothing is happening and I'm just sitting here like, and or trying to initiate something that people are like, stop giving me your advice. I don't want to hear what you have to say. And for all of us, right, there's both of these sides. But if you're either just sitting there waiting for something to happen or trying to force something to happen, that's not the way that the projector aura and energy is meant to operate in business. And oftentimes, and I know some wildly successful projectors. What's so cool is they have learned that an invitation is not just verbal. And this is what I want to share with you as projectors out there. Invitations are energetic as well. And when you get into a room, right, you're building a business as a projector and you're trying to figure out, what marketing do I do? Who do I talk to? Who's my client? You have this like very focused and penetrating aura. So you can like see into people's souls. And when you get into a room or when you're on social media or if someone comment, you zone in on that, that is actually a universal energetic invitation for you to reach out to that person. Or I worked with this amazing projector who is a Reiki healer, acupuncturist, all of the magical healing things. And she was going to these large scale local networking events. And she'd always kind of like wait in the corner because she was waiting for this invitation. I was like, you're a healer. Look around the room and see who's like rubbing their shoulder, who is like hunched over. You like can notice that there's pain in their body. Yes. That is literally a cosmic invitation for you to come and say, hey, can I offer you some thoughts or an idea of how this might make you, of something that might make you feel better? And them saying yes or no, which always they say yes, is that's your invitation. And so for projectors to really start to practice noticing if you are feeling zoned in, like magnetically tied to someone at an energetic level, that is your invitation. Go approach them. They might lead you to the next thing, or they might be exactly what you're looking for, and you would be exactly what they were looking for.
That's really powerful. Like, so they don't always have to just wait around. They can ask for that invitation, like really intentionally by picking up on the energy, right?
Yes.
Amazing.
And it's just following energetic invitations until the verbal ones come.
Oh my God, so good. I love that. Oh, and it's cool. What do you mean when you say a penetrating aura?
Those of us that are not projectors, I feel like I have some of them. My daughter is one of them, and I've got several friends and clients that are projectors. And it's like when they look at you, they see deep, and you can feel that energetically. If you are a projector, you're like, yeah, of course, I just see everything and know how to do everything really efficiently and organize everything and all of the things. That is your gift. It's to be able to see everything, right? And then focus in on what is the one piece that the next thing I'm supposed to pursue, go deeper into. And that is that energetic invitation that says like, my attention, right, like needs to be over here in the house, or it needs to be over here in this networking group or whatever.
Beautiful. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I just love hearing like, okay, tell me all of the things. Okay, so what's next? Reflectors?
Reflectors, yep. They are the smallest population of the world, 1%. And it's really cool because I've been meeting more and more reflectors lately, and it's very unique to hear about their personal journey. And what is the most important thing for reflectors in business is the community that you are surrounding yourself. Because
why? Tell us.
Reflectors have no colored in centers, no colored in shapes on their chart, which means that they are absorbing a lot of energy and thoughts and all of these things from other people. And so if they are in a low vibe community, or one that's not aligned, I don't even want to say low vibe, but one that's not aligned for whatever that person's goals are, whether that's from a happiness perspective, a business perspective, whatever, right? Like if that community is not fulfilling, it doesn't fill you with surprise and excitement and like happy energy, then you're literally going to be creating from a negative energetic space. And that is something that can happen to technically any of us, depending on what our open centers, those not colored in ones, look like. That's what we call conditioning in human design. But the reflector has all of it. It's open. They're the only type that doesn't have any centers colored in. And that's actually a huge gift because you understand people so deeply. That is the magic of the reflector. When you put yourself in the right room of people who are high vibe, you already have the magic to be able to see things, reflect back to them what they're experiencing, put a different perspective and spin on it. But then it's like you're taking positive energy and putting it through your body and bringing more positive energy out when you're absorbing high vibe, and then you're speaking out like what high vibe things you see. Even if you're helping people navigate challenges in their life or business, it's such a different perspective when that energy that's coming into your body is also feeling really good.
So it's kind of like that whole you are what you eat analogy, and like you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with most, like you become more like them. That's even more true for reflectors then.
Absolutely. Well, and what's interesting, I wouldn't say more true, just differently true, right? It's important for all of us to put ourselves in environments, in communities, and all of these things aligned not only with where we want to be in business, but the types of people we want to hang out with and have friendships with and all of that. But I think what's so interesting about the reflector is that they're going to magnify what is already around them. And so the gift for you reflectors, if you're listening out there, is that we want you to hang out in the rooms that magnify more high vibes into the world.
Yes, give us your high vibes and let's hang out and be friends. Actually, one of my best friends is a reflector. I was like, hey, what's your human design? And then she became obsessed like me. And since then, I've realized another one of my good friends in our big friend group is also a reflector. And I was like, what? How are we? What? It's only 1% of the population? That's so cool. So I love learning more about everyone and like how they're able to operate. So thank you for shedding light and giving us those really specific tips on those. Hi, friend. Are you enjoying this episode? Great. One of the ways I'm able to make all this fire content for you for free is thanks to some amazing sponsors. And this time, that's me. So I'm just going to take a minute and talk about how we can work together. And then it's right back into the episode. So whether you are ready to dive into video marketing or elevate your personal brand or completely revamp your content strategy, I have something that's just for you. First thing, if you're struggling to stay consistent on social media or you feel like you don't have a clear plan, my monthly membership is your go-to. You will get expert trainings, actionable challenges, and a community of like-minded entrepreneurs to keep you accountable. We focus on Instagram and YouTube because those platforms are game changers for your visibility and leads. So that's my membership, Visible Visionaries Collective. Now, if you're ready to tackle content creation at your own pace, I have DIY courses that are designed to help you create video content to get confident on camera and grow your audience on Instagram and YouTube. It's all broken down into easy, actionable steps, no overwhelm, no fluff, DIY courses. I also offer one-to-one coaching for those who want personalized guidance and strategy. We will tailor a plan that actually works for your specific business, helping you create content that not only looks amazing, but also attracts in your dream clients. Now, if you hate managing your YouTube channel, no problem, my friend, I'll do it for you with my done-for-you YouTube agency, the Visual Storytelling Agency. Me and my team will handle your keyword research, video optimization, editing, thumbnails, and even posting. You just film your videos and I'll handle the rest. Another way we can work together is inside of a luxury brand photo shoot. If you need new visuals to represent your next level of your brand, these photo shoots are designed to give you professional, polished photos that elevate your business and attract your dream clients and also reflect the next level of you that you want to embody in your business. If you're hosting an event, I'd love to make you a same-day highlight video that showcases the magic and energy. These are perfect for promoting your next event or sharing your impact or creating buzz around the event as it is happening in real time. So my friend, whether you're ready to level up your video game, your brand visuals, or finally get a clear content strategy that works, I'm here to help. You can find all the details and book your spot in the show notes or in the description below. All right, let's dive back into the episode. Thanks so much for listening and for supporting me in my business. It means the world to me. You mentioned something about different types should hire different people like within their business. I know that everything is always very specific to your human design, like as a whole. And so like, it's not a one size fits all for every energy type, but what are some really basic things that are almost always true for each of the types?
Well, what's really interesting is that depending on who you are, you as the CEO, the leader, the founder of your business, and what specifically you're trying to create, that's where when we're hiring, we think about, sometimes we're hiring contractors to help us on a short-term basis. Sometimes we're hiring team members on a more long-term basis, or maybe it's part-time, full-time. There's a lot of variations from just the actual business perspective.
True. Okay.
Right? And I want to maybe answer this question a little differently and use you and I as an example.
Love it.
because you're a manifestor, all things magical creativity, and also the way that the energy that you were giving off, right? I knew me as a generator, I needed to kind of get over this hump of creating content in a different way. You did a photo shoot for me that like helped me get over a lot of like body issues even. There's just a lot of things that happened.
It was so great, by the way. It was like one of my favorite shoots that I've ever done because of how just transformational it felt from my perspective.
And for me too. And that was so cool because what I knew was happening in that moment, in that season of my business evolution, was that I was becoming a new person. And I think that's so interesting. So many people in human design say that like what we're doing is taking off the layers of conditioning of other people's stories to become more of who we are. And in my own personal journey, I live in a small town in rural Colorado. Like a big photo shoot in the city was like nothing anyone in my normal sphere would have ever even thought of, let alone building the kind of business that I'm building and all of these different things.
Yeah.
And so when I hired you to do my photo shoot, first of all, I knew that like I knew enough about your human design and like your incarnation cross specifically and some things. And also like, I just loved your vibe as a person, not having known your human design, but I was like, well, if anyone is going to be able to help me emotionally through this as much as actually make sure that we get this thing done, it is a manifestor with the right angle cross of the vessel of love as their life force.
You're so nice.
And this is not always stuff that we know, but I energetically felt called. I reached out to you, right? And you're the manifestor. So in theory, you should have been initiating, but what you did is you put out there like, I'm taking photos. Who wants a photo shoot? Or I do photo, right? Like You talked about what you do and what you want to do. And I responded to that as a generator because energetically it felt good. Mm-hmm. And then you also helped support me through doing like a launch like marketing campaign. And so what was so interesting about this, right? Like I have a person on my team that does very consistent marketing or like social media. She takes the words that I write and turns them into beautiful graphics because that is not my skill set. And even though I had her, the way that we not only structured our working arrangement, but what her design is and her actual skill set and expertise were different than yours. And so when we were talking about what this could look like, I was like, I've tried to do a formal launch and shift my content, and there's a block somewhere inside of me. And so having someone who both had the expertise and me knowing that you're a manifestor and certain parts of your human design, still all of this, even if I didn't know all of these things about her human design, I felt this energetically from you when we were having conversations, right? It just felt normal. And it felt like when I had these ideas, you had the right answers or the right vision or the right idea that was like pulling this thing out of me. And so when we went through that launch, I needed you to help me move quickly through something that I had fear about. And what was so fascinating, right? Like we learned so much about each other in that experience. And at the same time, I got exactly what I needed and wanted out of it. I just like couldn't have imagined it, right? What I thought it would look like looked so different because of my personal human design and then also my business experience. And so I knew I wanted to achieve something in a short period of time. So a manifestor was going to help me. Someone who had the marketing background. Like I remember the very first post that I wrote out all these things, like crack of dawn. I think I wrote it either 1 a.m. or 5 a.m. something, and I sent it to you. And I was like, so I had this thing come through, and you were like, done, posted. And I'm like texting you, no, take it back. Don't do that. And it still is by far, I think, one of my best performing pieces.
Yes, it was such a good post. It was so good.
But that was part in my own journey, right? I had all these thoughts, all this knowledge, and I was whether making my content look boring or I was overthinking it so much that I would just not actually post it. And you just sending that out there, like it helped literally be the catalyst for shifting how I create content and it was, yes, you taught me a lot about content creation through that. And your energy, that spark pulled me in a direction that I needed. And so why I want to share this with everyone, because you asked, right? Like, how do we decide who we hire?
Yeah.
I have a different person, a generator, doing very consistent things for me.
Yes.
Right? And reaching out to you, like, I know when I need to get some shit done and like do something that I have never done before. And that's for me as a generator seeking out a manifestor. I have hired projectors as coaches or as like a brand designer. I remember my projector brand designer. I described this whole thing to her and she sent me 2 mock-ups. Shout out to Izzy Waite. Izzy Waite Design is so amazing.
She did such a beautiful job with your branding. It's so gorgeous and like so spot on. She had that penetrating aura.
Yes. And so she described this whole thing to you and to her, and she said, here's what you said you want, and here's what I think you want.
Really?
And what's really funny is what she thought I wanted was the first one that I said, and I'm like, oh my God, you got exactly what I said. I actually said like brown and green, which was already my old colors, but maybe just a little fancier. And she's like, no, well, it was true. Exactly what I described, but I could feel myself like pulling back and being safe. And it was really cool to go through that experience. And so I share this because we could literally just do full podcast episodes. Like this is a lot of the work that I do with people is figuring out who do we hire, right? Like in businesses, a projector or a manifestor who needs support getting things done, y'all need a generator in your life somewhere, right?
100%.
So this is some of it's like fun to talk about this, and there's so many nuances, but what I encourage you to think about as you're imagining hiring your team, being very thoughtful or hiring people to support you. First of all, what's the outcome that you're actually wanting? Because beyond just I wanted pictures or I wanted to complete a launch marketing campaign, right? Like because there was a speed behind it also. There was like, because I could have hired a generator, and not to say that a generator can't move fast, but we were on a really tight timeline to meet some of the things that I wanted. And so there's so much more to the picture of like, how do you build a really successful team around you, and knowing like I might need to have someone else like me in my business to do certain things, and I might need other people unlike me to do different things in my business. And like that is there's magic in that, and also that's a really intentional activity that we do as entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's really, really valuable insight. Thank you for sharing. I always think it's really useful to see how other people make decisions. So you sharing your story was actually really insightful for me, both when we were working together, like we were trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to share your story on social media? Like, what are the things we're going to highlight? And you had told me that story a couple of times and I was like, damn, like this girl has got it. Like she knows exactly like, okay, I need to fill this hole in my business with someone who is able to do things more consistently. Like for me, I had a VA for several years and she was like the best at just getting everything done. And she was so consistent, and I would bet $1 million that she is a generator. I don't know if she ever found out what her human design is, but I can definitely see like, okay, maybe if I needed someone, like what would you hire a reflector for? I put you on the spot for that. I'm so interested.
I know a few reflectors in business, and like think life coach, right? I haven't met a business coach that's a reflector, and not to say that they couldn't be, but because of their unique type, I would presume they would probably be coaching other reflectors in that. But reflectors to be hiring, like for the rest of us to be hiring them. I know one that takes people through like the moon cycles and is a very like feminine leadership type of person who's very spiritual. I know another person who's a reflector who has this like beautiful journey of healing over her lifetime, and now literally life coaches and helps people heal through their journeys, right? So it's really cool to see. I know another one that does tarot and psychic readings, and like there's just a lot of different ways, right? And that's not specific just to reflectors, right? We know people in all types that have this. But what you want from them is they're going to be able to see a picture, not just what is outside of you, but they're going to be able to see you in a way that you might not see yourself, and bring things to light. Like I just want to give real quick, like this is one of the best pieces of advice I got from a reflector. And
Okay.
I'm like a human design expert, right, in business. But we all are human. Anyway, so I've been manifesting a move out of our hometown, and my husband is a manifestor and I am a generator. And so I'm like, I can't get my husband on board. I can't convince him. And I was like, I knew all of the logical like things about manifestor, but I'm like, this is my husband. I should be able to just talk to him like I have for 20 years, which whatever, all the things. And this reflector said to me that he's manifesting from my energy. And I was like, duh. like, but it was something because I was too close to the situation that I couldn't see the forest through the trees. And it was like such a honed in reflection on, she's like, all of this fear that you have, he is absorbing as the manifestor, which like logically, intellectually, I understand. So this is why right? Because there was my own fears about potentially leaving the place that I had grew up, but also like feeling this huge desire and adventure to like go out and do something new. And that was a really interesting reflection back on me, right? That's what that reflector did. Show me that I thought I needed to convince him when actually what needed to happen is I needed to deal with the fear that I had within myself.
My God. Okay. First of all, huge reflection. I just had a huge light bulb go off because I'm a manifestor and my husband is a generator. And so I never thought of the idea that I'm manifesting from his energies. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Ooh. So gotta have the high vibes, my friends. Gotta have them.
Well, and what matters is when we're all consciously aware of it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Then we get to first take responsibility for ourselves and understanding how we operate and then how that operates with other people. Because there's this beautiful phrase I love to say about human design, which is when we all lean into our unique design, the whole collective rises.
Yes. 100%.
Right? It's about everybody having a better life. And that means that you get to just be you and not feel like you have to be everything for everyone, especially in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And then that also means that you get to receive, right, from other people things that are their gifts that they want to share with you. And you get to then share your gifts with other people. And you can see how this just perpetuates this high vibe reality. And that is a conscious choice. And not everyone is there, or whether you understand or don't understand human design, right? That's choosing to be positive and high vibe is a personal thing, but also like you start to notice when you become more high vibe, the things around you that aren't really start to stick out.
100%. So really quick, rewinding back to the manifesting the move to the city, like where are we at with that? You gonna come be my neighbor or what?
Girl, I hope so. I hope so.
Oh, I hope so too. We'll cross our fingers for that. Tell me, because we're running out of time for our interview, I want to hear what you are excited about in your business, in your world, in your sphere. What are you excited about right now?
Well, I have had this really fun journey in human design, as all of us do, of deeply learning ourselves. And from a human design perspective, right, that is important. But our life experiences, we have these specific life experiences on purpose, and bridging them together is part of the, I think, beauty that we get to bring together in entrepreneurship, especially when we bridge human design into business. Yes. And so I have been leading the charge of human design in business and sharing more content and creating more practical ways to apply your human design in business. Because there's so much information out there, y'all. And I love to encourage people to go down the Google rabbit hole. But I have a master's degree in business. I have a lot of very formal, structured understanding of how you build profitable businesses without guessing that we just actually build the thing and it works. And how we do that through business planning and all of these strategic things. And then bridging in your human design so you don't have to wonder who is your ideal client or what does it look like to build your business? We're bridging business models with your life purpose, and it's a beautiful thing. And so with that, I had this realization that then also was validated with some really cool opportunity that's coming for me through the International Human Design Conference. But I have been building in the background for 6 months now this huge body of knowledge. Literally from the inside of me, I kept saying that I'm meant to add to the body of knowledge that is human design. And it's like I couldn't prevent it from coming out, so I was kept writing it into this document. I'm like, this will turn into something someday, and it's going to be turning into a few things, but the first one that's going to be coming out is that people that are interested, I have that free human design chart that you can get from my website and at my Instagram, which is I am Anna Nichols. But what is really cool is you'll be able to buy a personalized book, essentially, this Human Design for Business report that is unlike anything that exists. Like, that was the cool thing when I was like, this, I can see exactly in my own human design why this thing is coming to life the way that it is, which is so cool. And
add to cart, friend. Like, I will be your first customer when please DM me and be like, yo, it's available, so I can go add it to the cart.
It's so cool because, first of all, as a generator, right? Like, I hope you can feel my sacral energy, people. Like, I love sharing this information. And it's the thing that I wish maybe I had. We all wish that we had is this, like, how to start a business exactly unique to me, right? And the bigger programs that I run help really walk people through that. But to have this first, like, book of knowledge about you, like, I've read every single book about human design. I have done all of the research, and none of them approached business first and then weaved in human design. And that is, I think, such an important piece for us to be successful as entrepreneurs in this world, is that you still need an accountant. You still need to have a team. We need to know how we're collecting money from people, like all of these business components, but uniquely how each of those pieces of your business look. That could look different for a projector than a manifestor, than a generator, management, reflect, like all of us. And what I am really excited to be bringing forward is literally the first body of knowledge. You'll be able to literally type in your information, and this report will come out with how to use all of the different components of human design in your business.
So good, dude. I'm so excited for it because, like, there are definitely other human design reports that exist out there, but it's mostly about, like, okay, here is the cut and paste information about what this gate in human design is, and this is your gift, but none of it, like you said, really put it, like, view your business through the lens of human design. And so I think that's so useful and so valuable. I'm really excited. I will definitely include the link in the show notes because by the time this episode comes out, it might be available for purchase. Very excited. And please, people, Anna is literally the best. You got to find her on Instagram. I am Anna Nichols. She posts some of the most insightful carousels and reels with this information that, like, I'll read it and I'm like, what? I need to go research this and immediately. So she's wonderful. And God, I love being in your energy, friend.
You too.
We talked about where people can find you on Instagram. Where else can they connect with you? What's your website?
My website is www.spiritualbusinessincubator.com. And that's where I help people bring their business visions to life. So come on, let's do it.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much, Anna, for being here with me today and with all of the humans listening. I can't wait for the next time I get to have you on and talk about human design. It's always so much fun. Hey friend, thanks so much for listening. I hope you loved this podcast as much as I loved recording it for you. It would mean the world to me if you would share this podcast with your friends or on your Instagram story, like, oh my gosh, I just listened to the Creative Minute podcast and it was so good. It means the world to me when you help get the word out there. And if you'd like to work together, head to shanayurko.com to see all the great ways that we could connect and work together. Don't forget to follow the podcast, thecreativeminute.podcast on Instagram. Get educational content from me at shana.videocoach on Instagram. And then my regular profile is just Shana Yurko, SHANAYURKO. Can't wait to connect with you, my friend. I will catch you in the next episode.